All right, YouTube, we're on the November the 20th. End of the season here, as you can tell. Already got some cold weather and things have started to change here. Wanted to give you sort of a, excuse me, sort of the end of season look of the seeding project and how things worked out. As I said earlier, I knew that this area up in here was not going to grow. So as you can tell, we've taken the bed that was extending out into here, cut that all back and repositioned it here. And I may have to come out a little more, but I've got a drain there I'm trying to work around. My plan is to probably sod this in the spring. I think I can get by with a very little bit of sod for this area and this area. But the rest of the yard has filled in pretty nice. I got a little area here where, you know, it's on a hill. And you'll find, as I show you this sort of at the end of the year, the areas that I had that gave me trouble were, of course, this area that was shade. That was expected. This area gets plenty of sunlight, but as I've said earlier in videos, a couple of big, heavy, very heavy downpours that we had that were extended washed out seed. The good thing is it pushed it down the hill, and we got plenty of coverage down there. But as you can tell, that area was a little sparse. It's already, the zoysia has already started spreading up into it. I'm confident that will come in. This area here will come in once we get some sod or seed. I mean, I may seed this again in the spring. I mean, to be honest with you, the seed was pretty easy and the coverage is really nice, but I could probably get by with one pallet of sod and knock out the rest of the front yard and some gaps in the back. But to give you an idea, I'll step back over here so you can get more coverage of the yard. This area here has started, as you can tell, it started to fill in. I have some POA. That's what the green is you're seeing there is some POA that came into that shady spot. But this area here, you can tell a really big difference in it from some of the first videos, and it'll give you an idea of just how much this has actually spread in one season. Things have done really well. I mean, you know, would I do it again? Yeah, I think it was fun. It was interesting to me. I honestly think had I gotten a little better germination, with the lack of that washout, those rainstorms and things really put me in a bind because they washed off a lot of my seed. I really should have came back in hindsight and seeded again behind it, but I didn't really realize it had washed all of it out until the seed started coming up. And I really didn't want to, you know, go back and mess with it at that point. I just sort of let things go, and I was going to see how it would fill in. So all in all, very good. I'm very happy with it. I think that next season this will pop and come up, and I think we'll see even more coverage. But as you can tell, it did a really good job and it covered well. I'll give you a video here in just a moment of the backyard that I'll patch into this one. All right, so I'll give you a view. This is beside my garage. This area, it's half shade, half sun. The zoysia came in pretty good. Once again, there's a slope coming this way, and as you can tell from those big rains that I was talking about, the stuff on the edge is where I really didn't get as good a coverage, but it has honestly filled in way better than I thought it would. This area here, like, it's washed out, but it's growing up into it. We'll see how it does in the spring. This came in good, and then here's another big high spot that I was talking about, that the seed washed. You can see where the water flows from here. The seed washed down that way, and you can see the areas that are not covered good. This area doesn't get a ton of sun, but it gets you know, morning through midday. Sun's right above us right now. But as you can tell, this filled in really nice. So like I said, I think a pallet or so of sod, maybe 2 pallets at the most, I'll be able to fill in these areas in the spring, and I think they'll be fine. And what I'm noticing, my neighbors, a couple of my neighbors have put in a few strips, and what I'm noticed is there are areas that maybe the seed didn't germinate because it didn't have enough heat, but sod may actually, the grass may survive there if it gets some sun. So even if you've got some shade and you think that the seed may not work, the sod may actually take off, because it looks like the grass, you know, the seed requires more sun and more sunlight to get going from what I'm seeing. So I'm going to try it, but you know, I may reseed this area. Like I said, the seed was pretty easy, and it did really well. So anyway, it's the end of the season. As you can tell, things are already changing colors, And so we'll pick up in the spring, I'm guessing I'll probably pick up in the May time frame, and June, maybe May, as this lights up, and give you guys a look at it, and then we'll track it through next season. I hope this has been helpful for you. Like I said, I'm no expert. This is just all from me reading and asking a bunch of questions, and just finally getting to the point to say, you know what, I'm going to try it. My expectations were not to get a full yard this year, and I think if you're going to seed it, that should be your expectations. If you want full instant gratification, there's no doubt that the sod is the way to go. But if you're willing to take a little time with it, the seed does very well. And it's much more economical. But I think you're probably a couple of seasons to get a full yard. I really think that, like I said, the areas that I'm really sparse in are areas that just got washed away, and I think had I got more coverage there, that would be spreading in even better. So if you're thinking about the seed, I would suggest to try it. It worked really well for me, and just have your expectations set that you're probably 2 seasons to a full yard. What other people could think about is if you're in a neighborhood where you can't do that, then maybe you sod your front and then you can seed your back and cut your expense, down to 60% or so of what you would have spent, and maybe try it that way. But like I said, hope this helps you, and if you have any questions, put them out. We'll work them out together. Take care, everybody.